G'day, I'm Andrew Marshall with the Northern Australia Climate Program at the University of Southern Queensland, and this is a short summary of the Bureau of Meteorology's climate outlook for the northern half of Western Australia for the weeks and months ahead, issued in the week leading up to the 26th of November 2024. We'll take a look at the rainfall outlooks to begin with, starting with these outlook scenarios, and these are the rainfall totals that have a 75% chance of occurring for your region. So looking ahead to the 3 months from December to February, we're seeing a 75% chance of up to about 100 millimetres or so for eastern parts of the Gascoyne, exceeding 100 millimetres for large parts of the Pilbara, between 200 and 400 millimetres for southern parts of the Kimberley, and exceeding 600 millimetres for some of the northern Kimberley regions. And remember, you can use this magnifying glass feature here to drill a little deeper into the forecast specifying your location of interest to break the forecast down into the chance of different rainfall amounts occurring. And this will give you an idea of how conditions are likely to be compared to the historical median. You can ask your local climate mate to go through this with you in more detail. Now, taking a quick look at the Bureau's northern rainfall totals since the 1st of September, the large areas in green indicate where more than 50 millimetres of rain has fallen, and this is considered to be about the amount of rainfall required to stimulate plant growth. Now let's look at temperatures, and the differences from average for maximum temperature here show cooler conditions of around 2 degrees below average for much of the north, and warmer conditions of around 1 degree above average for parts of the Gascoyne for the 2 weeks from the 30th of November to the 13th of December. And here the average is calculated over the 1981 to 2018 period for this time of year. Now, for minimum temperatures, we're looking at warmer than average conditions for most regions over the next 2 weeks. Looking at the chance of extremes map for the 3 months from December to February, we're seeing an elevated chance of unusually warm days across large parts of the state, as shown here, and an elevated chance of unusually warm nights across Western Australia. And by unusually warm, we mean the highest 20% of historical temperature records for this time of year based on the 1981 to 2018 period. Now, remember that these long-range forecasts for Australian rainfall and temperature provide the best guidance for local climate, so that is our focus here. These forecasts consider all ocean and atmosphere conditions that affect seasonal weather and climate. But if you are interested in some of the climate indicators that can influence the forecast, we'll have a quick look at these now. And the Southern Oscillation, the El Niño Southern Oscillation, is currently neutral, with the Bureau's model and most international climate models suggesting that we are likely to remain in this neutral range in the coming months. The Indian Ocean Dipole, or the IOD, is also neutral and likely to remain so in the next few months. A moderate to strong pulse of the Madden-Julian Oscillation, or the MJO, has been located over the Indian Ocean recently and is forecast to move eastwards over the maritime continent to the north of Australia in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And finally, the Southern Annular Mode, or the SAM, is forecast to become positive in the next week. And now, turning to the pasture growth outlook from long paddock for the 3 months from November to January, we're expecting to see pasture growth across most northern regions as shown here in response to the expected rainfall in the months ahead. And finally, let's take a look at the Cattle Comfort Index prototype forecasts from the Northern Australia Climate Program at nacp.org.au. And these forecasts go out to about 10 days ahead and are shown at 3 hourly intervals, which you can move through using these controls under the map right there. So index values between 30 and 35 degrees represent moderate stress to cattle. Values between 35 and 40 degrees represent severe stress, and values above 40 degrees are considered extreme. We are expecting varying heat stress conditions at times over parts of Northern Australia, with some severe and extreme conditions to be aware of in the days ahead. Now, as always, for more information and updates, visit the Bureau's climate pages at bom.gov.au/climate. If you have any questions about recent conditions or the use of weather and climate forecasts, please reach out to your local climate mate. You can read more about the Northern Australia Climate Program at nacp.org.au. See you next time.